When you're filled with the Spirit, you don't lose your mind. Are you ready for some good news? God's Spirit, far from diminishing your intellect, heightens your intellect. I've been around some traditions that value the Spirit, but not so much the mind. I've been in some Christian circles that value the mind, but pay very little attention to the Holy Spirit. But God places value on both. In fact, God draws us and grows us up in very different ways, and we need to appreciate that. Some people are moved to Christ through a thoughtful, meditative process of the Spirit revealing truth to the intellect. Others come to Christ by glorious interventions from the Spirit. The point is whether you come, not how you come. Over 2 decades ago, when I began ministry at the church I serve, Renolda Church, I was a young man, and I immediately discovered at the church there was this sort of subsurface tension in the congregation between those that valued the spiritual experiences, charismatic experiences, things of the Spirit, and others who valued the deep thought in the Word. Some hoped, when I first came here 23 years ago, that I would lead the church towards much more freedom in the Spirit with plenty of all these expressions and manifestations of the Spirit. Others hoped that I'd lead the church in a diligent commitment to the meditation in the Word. Of course, I was committed to both Word and Spirit. Well, it was Christmas time when shortly after I arrived, and as I was preparing to teach one Wednesday night, the Lord showed me something beautiful in the Christmas stories. It settled much of the tension in the congregation when I shared it. I just noticed how differently the shepherds and the magi were, and how differently they came to Christ. The shepherds, these humble Jewish boys, experienced a sudden supernatural visitation, and they ran with haste to find the babe. The magi, probably Gentiles, educated and wealthy, quite different from the shepherds, they saw something in the heavens that no one else saw. So through thought and careful examination, they came to believe there was a new king that was born. And so they came on a long journey, methodical and meditative. Both shepherds and magi came to visit the young Christ. And I realized I'd come into a church like all churches that had some shepherds and had some magi. And I realized that God deliberately drew the shepherds in one way and the magi in another. In the end, it doesn't matter whether you come to Christ by a supernatural moment of glory or by a thoughtful process. God just wants you near. When you realize that the Holy Spirit doesn't shut off the mind, but instead brings clarity to the intellect, you can surrender to Him fully without fear. And that's the gospel. That's today's good news. And you can get more videos like this by clicking right here. And better yet, subscribe to the channel. Get them all, especially in this whole series that we're talking about, the balance of Word and Spirit in our lives. I think it'll bless you and it'll bless somebody else. Have a great day.